Hello, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, any other source you might be listening to this on. All right, as you can tell from the name of this video, our Father, our Heavenly Father, has taught me, told me, either way you want to put it, where this COVID-19's come from. And I'm not just going to come right out and tell you, because I'm going to have to show you how the Father has taught me where this COVID-19 has come from. And I'm not just going to, if you watched any of my other videos from before, I don't explain things in a few minutes. I don't make quick, snappy, fancy videos to try to catch people's attention or any of that sort, because I'm not here to please men. I'm here to speak the truth. Okay? Well, we got a few things we got to go over before we get to where exactly this COVID-19 came from, where it originated. And yes, I am going to be I'm going to be giving some commentary on a lot of what's going on in the news and so forth, because the blame game is being played so hard. And by the time we get done with this video, you're going to know who to blame this on. I'll guarantee it. Because I'll guarantee you, I know exactly where this is coming from. And I will say that this is the beginning of sorrows for all of us. This is what the books the Father has had me write about. When he first called me in 2015, well, he called me back in 2011, excuse me, but when he had me write the first book in 2015, okay, that was the beginning of the 3 books /4, because the 4th one's going to be out in a few months. But these 4 books, the 3 books I've already written, the Father and I have already written, because I didn't do it on my own. All right. But the 3 books we had written, and and that's something I'm going to pause this, because that's something I wanted to show. I'll just a second. All right, sorry about that. That was just a quick pause, because I was thinking about this earlier, and I believe the Father told me to show you all this. But this was the 3rd book that the Father had me write, Jesus Christ in the Flesh. The next book is called Jesus Christ in the Flesh is Here. I misnamed this when I got a little ahead of myself. Nobody's fault but my own. It was my mistake. I will not ever try to say it's someone else's fault for anything that I do wrong. That's something that we're going to be touching on tonight. But now there's something that the Father is telling me. I want to show you this book here. And this is on the, I don't know why they got this listed as page 9 in the introduction, but it's not. But I'm going to read a paragraph. This book was published. Here we go again. Jesus Christ in the Flesh. This book was published last August of 2019. Excuse me. This is 2020 now. All right, I will just read one paragraph out of the introduction. I will say right now, through this book, I will say right now, though this book is a little different than the other 2, this one is going to show my thought process through all this teaching, so that you as a reader can know without a doubt that I do come in my Father's name and not my own. We are going to be learning that our Father has offered his love for each person, and that his love is for all people. It does not matter what color, race, nationality, size, or shape someone is. It does not matter what a person has done, doing, or will do. His love is unconditional. Might have said that one wrong. To all mankind. Unconditional. I should have been unconditional, not unconventional. I should have said unconditional. I make mistakes. I've got a 9th grade education. I misspeak sometimes, okay? But anyway, to his unconditional to all mankind. It is just man that truly does not want to know him or what he is doing. Here's the last two lines. This is what caught my attention, because I didn't even realize I'd put this in here, because I know it was him telling me to put it in here. I will say, you really need to let go of your pride, humble yourself, and realize that this is a time in which is going to be very devastating for the world. It's right here, page 4, or they got it listed as page 9 in the introduction. This was published last August. This is what the books have been about. I've been telling y'all, the Father and I have been trying to tell y'all this was coming. But yes, the Son of Man must be rejected. And I'm not going to go through all of that tonight, because I mean that the scriptures and that my mind bounces around the Bible all the time. And so what I've done tonight, is I've tried to put together a quick video to give a quick summary of this, because the Father commanded me yesterday to make this video. But I was pretty tired after driving all day yesterday. And, well, today it's kind of like he told me to stop at one place, and I didn't want to stop there yet. I love to drive, and I just wanted to go a little further. Well, then there was no parking at the truck stop that I wanted to stop at. So, anyway, but I got here and it's like, David, you got to get this book done. You got to get this video done, because this is what is talked about in the 4th book. So I'm not going to go over all the details that are in the 4th book. And at the same time, there might be more details on here than what's in the 4th book. But now, I wanted to start here in John, like I started my other videos. If you haven't watched my other videos, please do. I'm going to go over with who I am tonight. We're going to go over that a little bit, just in case you're a newcomer. If you haven't already shut the video off, because I've already kind of stated who I was. I am. Okay? And we're going to go over that in detail. And I'm going to say right now, this is not going to be a short video. It's going to be lengthy, because I'm not going to go into all the writing and showing everything, but I am going to give my verbal confirmation of who I am and explaining it as I show you just a couple spots in the scriptures, okay? But we're going to get to the end of it, toward that we're going to see where this COVID-19 actually come from, okay? But we got to go over the commentary of this blame game. This blame game has to stop, because that's why Satan and the angels were cast out of heaven. Okay? And I'm going to do that real quick when we go, I think it's in Revelation. I'm going to pause it while I look it up. Okay. Back to where I was. This blame game. That's why Satan got cast out. Revelation 12:10. Okay? And yeah, I'm kind of jumping ahead of the gun, because I'm going to show you where the heavenly conversations and all that good stuff. But listen to this. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, remember, heavenly conversations. Okay, now has come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. You remember me just saying a few minutes ago, I will never say anybody else is to blame for my own faults? Our Father has taught me that so strongly. That's a big thing. We all have to acknowledge our own sins. All right, but anyway, let's get on with this video. Okay? Now, but John 4, so you can see where I'm at, John 4, verse 23, 24. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshippers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. That "must" is a strong word. Now, I'm going back up here to where I had this highlighted. Now is, okay, this is it. This is the time that now is the time that all that are going to worship God must, let me repeat that, must worship him in truth and spirit. For God seeketh such to worship him in truth and spirit. What I'm going to show you tonight is going to be a spiritual lesson, and I'm not talking about a spiritual that has carnal messages in. We are going to be looking from spiritual perspective at the entire earth. Okay? This is the time. The hour is that if you're going to worship God, you must worship him in spirit. Stop thinking of the Bible as being physical. Stop thinking of the Bible as it's got to happen exactly how it's going to be, because, to be honest with you, I truly believe that it's kind of happening backwards. Like I showed in the third book / fourth book, the third book is kind of wrapped into the fourth book with 70,000 words, okay? But the book of Revelation is how most of all this got started, not how it's going to end. We're going to be covering over that here in a few minutes. I know a lot of people are looking for signs to happen. You ain't going to see none. I'm your sign. I'm the only sign this wicked and adulterous generation will get. Okay? We're going to go over the scriptures to show that in a few minutes. All right. Now, I want to show this is Philippians 3. Verse 20, for our conversation is in heaven, from whence also we look for the Savior, the Lord Jesus Christ. Okay, when we hear that, when we're listening, all right, by the way, back to the books. The first book, the Father had me right. Father, forgive us, we haven't been listening. Everything that I teach is taught out of the King James Version of the Bible. Okay, man chooses not to listen to our Father. Okay? The second book, behold, a greater than Jonas is here. Me, myself, I thought people would kind of pick up on who I am when I wrote that book, when he had me write that book, and he's the one that had me change the name of it. I was going to name it Judge lest he wants to be judged. Lest you want to be judged. The beginning of Matthew 7. That's what I was going to name it. But he told me, no, name it, behold, a greater than Jonas is here. Well, I kind of was thinking, all right, people would pick up on who I am. They didn't. All right, anyway. In the third book, well, we already went over that, so we're not going to go over that again. Now, here's where I'm going to give a little bit of the commentary on this news, okay? In the blame game. Maybe I should save this for later. I think I will save this for later. Okay. Oh boy, now I lost it. Oh, Acts 13:41. So you can see where I'm at. Acts 13, verse 41. Behold, ye despisers, and wonder and perish, for I work. This is our Father speaking. Okay? For I work a work in your days, a work which ye shall know in no wise believe, though a man declare it unto you. Yeah, I'm a man, and I'm declaring it unto you, and 99% of the time, you aren't going to believe me. I know that. Okay? And I have it here in Habakkuk 2. It's also the same thing. Behold, ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously, for I will work a work in your days which ye will not believe, though it be told to you. All right. Yeah, let's see here. Think I'm one. Did I want to go over that tonight? Yeah, I need to give a little quick description of that. I had to get some more coffee, sorry. Anyway, Psalm 119. This is what I was kind of reading there in the book there, you know, that the Bible's for everyone, okay? You know, everybody is a servant and or vessel of God. And I know that's the next verse that we got showing. I just got one quick verse. I didn't go into detail trying to show all this because I know this video is going to take a while, and I didn't want to. I just wanted to kind of give you a basic understanding of how I understand things. And no, I don't expect you to understand things that like I do, because I can see and hear things that prophets and teachers for thousands of years have desired to see, but they can't. The reason is because we're at that hour. That's what these books have all been writing up to. They've been saying this was coming. Okay? But this is just the beginning of it. This is just the beginning of it. Okay? I'll tell you that much now. But anyway, this Psalm 119. For all are thy they continue this day to thy ordinances, for all are thy servants. Everybody has different laws, rules, judgments, testimonies, ordinances, and commandments. Nobody has the same two. If let's just go hypothetically, let's say 10 other people on this planet had the exact same commandments as I do. All right? If you watched any of my other videos, I'm a truck driver. I drive across the country. I live in my truck. Okay? I don't have anywhere. I don't have a home, no, anywhere to call home. All right? I have nowhere to lay my head. Okay? Yeah, I've got this bed that I'm sitting on right now. Okay? But, I mean, that's ridiculous to think that Jesus Christ of the Bible that you all think was actually here 2,000 years ago, which is way wrong. Okay? But if I've had people say, well, you got the bed behind you in your truck, you know, that is so ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, to think like that is to actually think that Jesus that you actually believe in never slept a day in his life. That's ridiculous. He took on the form of a servant, a man. Remember? Okay? Anyway, I'm sorry. I got a little... Everybody has different laws. But anyway, where I was back at. If 10 people had the same commandments, all 10 of us would have to be driving the exact same truck, stopping everywhere that I stop, doing the exact same thing, sleeping in the exact same bed, doing everything as one. Nobody has the same two commandments. That's what Jesus is talking about in Matthew 5, I believe it's verses 17 and 18, when he says, not one jot or the tittle of the law will in any wise pass until all be fulfilled. Okay, that's what's being fulfilled. That's invisible. We can't see it. That's what it's talking about in Colossians 1, and I know I'm going to have to bring that up. I didn't bring that up. I'm going to have to show you all that here in a little bit when I go into showing who I am and so forth and how it worked. All right, but everybody is a servant and or vessel of God. Oh yeah, I was going to show that in Colossians 4 too. See, that's the one thing I'm rushing through here, and I don't get the proper Bible verses set up, and I have to pause it many times, and I have to bring it. I got to bring many more things into it. But anyway, everybody is a servant and or vessel of God. Okay, vessel. What I mean by vessel. 1 Peter 3:7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto thy wife as unto the weaker vessel, as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. Okay, the woman is the weaker vessel, which means the man is the stronger vessel. When I know there's women stronger than me. That doesn't mean every woman is weaker than every man. Okay? But this is how our Father sees it from above. Remember, heavenly conversations. Okay? He sees the woman as the weaker vessel of him. Okay? I got to stop that. I can't go into all that. All right? Everybody is a servant and or vessel of God. And I think I have the... No, we don't have the wine in Bibles yet. But anyway, see, I'm trying to rush through this. Okay. All right, I got to pause it because I know I want to bring in this Colossians 4. Okay, I'm back. This is what I wanted to bring up. This is, a lot of people think that, actually, this is going way on a different topic. You know what? I just want you all to notice this. Okay. And Jesus, which name is called justice. All right. I'll go ahead and explain this. This is kind of explained in the books. I mean, it is pretty much explained in the books. A lot of people think Jesus, this false Jesus, is about to make it all about us. All right. Now, see, this is going way on a different topic. You know, if I go into that, where God, I think we probably ought to skip this. Maybe I'm thinking out of turn when I'm saying this. This is for another Bible lesson, another lesson, because this is where people need to realize. You know, I'm going to say Jesus said the scriptures say, I am the way, the truth, and the life. That life is what God breathed into man. Okay, but see, that goes into who Satan is, all right, and so forth. And God breathed life into man so that man became a living soul. That part of God himself, that life that he breathed into man, is the Son of God, which covers the entire planet. Okay, but that life that he breathed into man is Jesus. Yes, Adam, from the very beginning. This is explained in the books. But here's why I wanted to bring this up. And Jesus, which is called justice. Now, man, here in hell, explained very well in the second book, we're in hell without a shadow of a doubt. Okay? This is where Satan and the angels were cast. And Satan was locked up inside of man. This is explained in the books. Okay? All right, but this is where Satan was cast. Now, the Son of God, Jesus, died somewhere up in, this is all on the image of God, which is explained very well in the fourth book, when he said, let us make man in our own image. Okay, but he died, and now, because he laid down his life, this is where he gets to reign, and that's shown in Colossians 3, and that won't, actually, that's right here, Colossians, nope, wrong one. What chapter am I on here? Oh, that's Colossians 1. All right, so let's just do this real quick. Colossians 3:11. I know where that one's at. Okay. Colossians 3. Scroll down here to 11. Where there is neither Greek nor Jew, circumcision nor uncircumcision, barbarian, Scythian, bond nor free. If I pronounced it wrong, I pronounced it wrong. Christ is all and in all. Okay, this is what I mean. Everybody's a servant of God. Everybody's a vessel. That life that God breathed into man so that man became a living soul, and that's every man on this planet. Doesn't matter what race, what nationality, doesn't matter what color you are, does not matter what size, what shape, what you've done, what you're doing, or what you will do. It does not matter. We don't know. Okay, that's why we're told to work out our own salvation. I think that's in Philippians. I'm not going to show that because I'm getting way off track. All right, but anyway, to get back on track, so this video isn't 5 hours long, wanted to show, I just showed that in Colossians. Now, Matthew 12. Okay, and as I told you all, I'm your sign. You're not going to receive another sign. And I got to give some commentary on this. And I'm drinking coffee because I drove a little bit late tonight. And the Father says I got to get it done tonight. So I'm helping keep myself awake. Okay, Matthew 12. We're going to start with verse 38. Okay, one of the things I need to state right now, to worship God in spirit, you got to stop thinking of the Bible as being about people of the past. This is something that I noted that I laid out in the third book. It's going to be in the fourth book because the third book's wrapped into the fourth book. Okay, but the Bible's not just about people of the past. It's a long. This is actually stated in all of the books. The book is one long. The Bible is one long letter of instructions on how we are to live our lives today. It's for us today, not just for the people of the past. Yes, it's got some things written of the past, of the people of the past, but it's for us to learn how to live our lives today. Excuse me. Drinking coffee. I'm in my truck by myself. I don't have to wear a mask. Anyway, Matthew 12, verse 38. Then certain of the scribes and the Pharisees answered and saying, Master, what would see a sign from thee? We would see a sign from thee. But he answered and said unto them, An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. For as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. Now, this is where I got to give the commentary because I'm not going to go through it like I did in the third book. In the third book, this is laid out in detail. All right. But in March 28th, Good Friday, 1986, I was in a car accident. Well, what man calls a car accident, there is no such thing as accidents as when it comes to car accidents. All right. And once you start to understand, and if you believe who I am, if you truly believe who I am, you'll know that there's no such thing as a car accident. It's not an accident. Accident is a made-up term made by man, but everything, and I mean that everything, does happen for a reason, whether it be good or bad. Okay, it happens for a reason. All right, so with that car accident, as man calls it, I was in there. That was a Good Friday, March 28th, 1986. I was in a coma, just as well been dead, for 3 days and 3 nights. Okay, now 30 years later, almost to the day, March 8th of 2016, the Father woke me up with a dream. And this dream, I remember it, and I explained it in the book. I'm going to explain it real quick. It doesn't take that long. But in this dream, I was watching TV. There was a brunette lady doing their cast on the news or whatever. And all of a sudden, she goes, all those to report to duty is David Jenkins and Randy for jerry-rigging. Well, I knew what that was. I mean, because I had been listening to the scriptures, and like I said, I explained this in the book. And I'm not going to try to explain it all tonight and show you all like I did in the book. But anyway, it was kind of funny because the place I was working at that time, well, that day I quit. I wasn't working no more. But there was a guy at the place. It was a dock company that we used to make floating docks down there in Missouri, and then there was a guy there who was really good at jerry-rigging anything, and his name was Randy. It's kind of funny. But now and I don't think I put this in the book. I got thinking about that later, and actually the owner of the company's name is Jerry. So it's kind of like, wow, that was kind of weird. So yeah, God's got a sense of humor. But anyway, 30 years later, almost to the day, accident March 28th of 1986. Was in a coma for 3 days and 3 nights. Okay. March 8th, March 9th, because the day starts when the daylight's gone of the previous day. Okay, and I'm not going to go into all that. But as we see here, and Jesus himself began to be about 30 years of age, being as was supposed the son of Joseph and was the son of Eli. About 30 years old. I was 20 days shy of that baptism that the Father took out for me to baptize me with the Holy Ghost, was almost 30 years later from the 3 days and 3 nights of being in the belly of the earth. Just as well been dead. Like I said, God is working a works that no man will believe. All right, what do I want to show here next? This kind of goes with the vessels. We are the wine bottles. I kind of jumping out of place here. This should have been back here when I showed the vessels, and I got it out of place. But we are the wine bottles. When Jesus turns water into wine. Now, and I'm not going to show it in the scriptures, but we go to the parable where Jesus was talking to the lady. She went up to Jacob's well, and he asked her to give her something to drink. And then they spoke for a while, and he told her she had 5 husbands and whatnot. And then he told her, if you drink of the water I give you, you will never thirst again. Now, wait a second. Didn't he go up to the well asking her to give him something to drink? That water that he gives is knowledge. Okay? Just the same as the wine. Okay? When you all look into when you all start believing who I am, you will. There will be many that will, but there will also be many that will not. Just like the scriptures say, there's going to, the scriptures are being fulfilled to the letter like you wouldn't believe right now. And I can see it, and I can hear it, and I can understand it. Excuse me. But we are the vessels. We are the wine bottles, okay? And what, maybe I got this placed, maybe I should have placed this a little bit later after I show you, okay, about the baptism with the Holy Ghost. All right, now I've heard pastors talking about them having the quickened spirit and so forth, but they're out here and they're trying to get appraised by men. I'm not seeking your appraisal. I'm not going to twist your arm, and I'm not going to beg you to believe, because it's not my problem. I'm not the one that's going to be chastised or cast into outer darkness because you don't believe who I am. All right? I know who I am. I know for a fact who I am. There's no way anybody can convince me any different. If you can see it or not, this cross, that's the seal that Jesus talks about in Matthew 6. He says, labor not for the meat that perish, but labor for the meat that the Son of Man give it to you, for the Father hath sealed him. I'm sealed. Okay? All I do from the time I wake up till the time I go to bed, I meditate on the Word of God. That's all I do. Because He's the only one. My Father is the only one I seek to please. I'm not here to please man. I'm here to please our Father. And the only reason I'm making this video is because the Father said, do it. So I'm making the video, whether you all like it or not, okay? Now, this is where I need to explain that baptism. Thou fool. All right, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Verse 36. Okay, thou fool, which thou sowest is not quickened, except it die. Now, okay, and this is explained better in the books. And actually, I don't got this in the book. And when the publisher sends their first round of editing back to me, I need to put this in there. Okay, but that quickened spirit. This is why I can see things and I can hear things that prophets and teachers from the past have desired to see and hear, but they can't. They couldn't. All right. Now, when that baptism, when the Father called me out, when I watched that, had that dream, I walked out, I don't know, 2 hours. I walked about 3.5 to 4 miles an hour. I walked a couple hours, so I'm thinking probably, I'm guessing 6-7 miles. I don't know for sure. I walked out to a creek. I found a creek after a couple hours. I left at 4. When he woke me up, it was 4:13 in the morning on the 8th of March of 2016. You know, and I'm a cigarette smoker. I tell you all that in the books, and we're not going to get into all that, okay? But I smoked a cigarette, took a couple swigs of coffee, because I knew what the dream meant. I knew this was the time I was supposed to go. I had done given everything I owned away. And I'm not trying to do this to brag on my alms, because, and I hope I don't lose my reward for doing this, but I gave everything I owned away. Why? Because I physically and mentally 100% truly believed I was walking out into the woods or the wilderness to die. I'm not exaggerating about that. We're going to go into detail about that in a couple more minutes, a little more detail. But I gave everything I owned away. I went up to the where I had a car financed. I went up and I paid the car off with the money that I had. And I come back and I gave the car keys to someone that needed it. And I gave him the money. I gave him most of the furniture in my house. I distributed everything else. And I just, the clothes on my back, I gave everything except the clothes on my back. Excuse me. Except the clothes on my back. I had one shirt, one muscle shirt, because I wear 2 shirts. I had a sweat jacket on because it was kind of chilly. All right. I had 1 pair of jeans, 1 pair of undershorts, 1 pair of socks, 1 pair of shoes. And I walked out, and that was all I owned. I gave everything, including my money, everything I owned away, because I literally thought I was going out in the wilderness to die so that I could be with the Father and be with the Jesus. And then I explained how the scriptures, how I believe the scriptures, and how I listened to certain parts at certain times that made me believe that's exactly what I was being commanded to do. And come to find out, that's exactly what I was being commanded to do. Because here's what happened. And I didn't realize this at the time. But when I did that, David Charles Jenkins II died. He laid down his life. Thou food which thou sowest is not quickened, except it die. David died. Now this is where I wanted to show you in Colossians 1. Nope, that goes the wrong one. This is when David willingly went out after he gave everything he owned away. Remember, nothing goes with us when we leave. Nothing. Okay? This is explained in the books. Don't worry about what you're going to have for tomorrow because you don't know if you're going to be alive. All right? But I did. I gave everything away because I literally, physically, mentally, everything in my beings thought I was going out there to die so I could be with the Father. So when that happened, that was David dying. Now, we go to Colossians 3. For some reason I was thinking it was Colossians 3:11. But anyway, maybe I started with that. Anyway, we know this is talking about Jesus. Colossians 3:15. I wear glasses too. That's talked about in the books. Maybe I should put them on. So I'm tired. And the more tired I am, the worse my eyes get. The harder it is for me to see. Colossians 3:15. Who is in the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature. Now, that invisible spirit of Jesus is talked about in Malachi 4, those that fear God, the Son of Righteousness. But that invisible spirit took over David Jenkins's body. David's dead. I can go through the scriptures, and I can go through a bunch of scriptures telling you that, showing you that. Okay, but David died. Jesus took over. All right? And anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, and I know there's a lot of people, when Jesus took over my body, I've talked to a couple people, and well, I've talked to a few people about it anyway, since the Father told me to make my name known. That's explained in the 3rd book. All right, but there was a few people that said, well, all men will see Jesus coming in the clouds. Now, this is where I wanted to show you this, because this is something the Father, I didn't understand until just maybe a month ago, because I really didn't know how to answer that one. And I really didn't understand what it meant that all men will see Jesus coming in the clouds. So, the Father, as he always does, showed me. He said, David, show him 2 Peter chapter 2, and we're going to read this. Okay? But these are natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed. Speak evil of the things that they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption, and shall receive the reward of unrighteousness, as they that count it pleasure to riot in the daytime. Spots they are, and blemishes, sporting themselves with their own deceivings, while they feast with you. Okay, sorry, I was almost got on another topic. That's why I kind of chuckled, because that's what I do. Having eyes full of adultery, and then that cannot cease from sin, beguiling unstable souls, and heart that have exercised with covetousness practices, cursed children, which have forsaken the right way, and are gone astray, following the way of Balaam, the son of Bosor, however you want to pronounce it, who loved the wages of unrighteousness. But he was rebuked for his iniquity. The dumb ass, speaking with man's voice, forbade the madness of the prophet. I'm sure you're all familiar with that story. Verse 17. These are wells without water. And I don't know why that thing's showing right up there. Clouds that are carried with the tempest, to whom the mist of darkness is reserved forever. Men are clouds. Okay, the sinful David Jenkins, man, cloud, died. Jesus rose up in that cloud. Now you understand how you see Jesus coming in the clouds. Men are clouds. I'm no different than any other man on this planet. I bleed the same blood you bleed. You bleed the same blood I bleed. You breathe the same air I breathe. I breathe the same air you breathe. We walk on the same earth. We have equally transgressed our Father's law. There's no difference. Neither one of us, I don't care who you are, I don't care what color you are, I don't care what race you are, I don't care what nationalism you are, I don't care what size or shape you are. We are equal. No different in our Father's eyes. You have your role to fulfill, I have my role to fulfill. Everybody has their own separate roles to fulfill. Nobody has the same laws, rules, judgments, testimonies, ordinances, or commandments. And nobody has a right to think that they're better than anyone else. Because I'll guarantee you, we've all sinned alike. You break one law, as it speaks about in James 2, you break one law, you break them all. We all have equally transgressed God's law. Well, nobody's any better. Nobody's any worse. We are all equally sinful. Okay? Anyway, now, I come to you in the clouds. That's how all men see me coming in the clouds. Sorry, I got a little rant and rave there. Now, we got to understand. Now we're going to start working towards where we're going to find this. Okay, I know what I was wanting to start. I was wanting to start showing where we're married to the Father, but I'm going to pause this for a second. All right. Now, what I wanted to show that God said He's married to us. Our Father's married to us. And I know there's some discrepancies about God said He divorces us, but like He had me point out in the first book, and this was actually talked about in the first book. You know, and I'm going to kind of explain what I put in the first book, but I wanted to just read this, okay? Because it's right up here in Jeremiah 3, verse 8, okay? Where God gives a bill of divorcement, okay? And I saw, when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also. And it came to pass through the lightness of the whoredom, that she defiled the land, and committed adultery and stones with stocks. And yet, see, on that stones got me thinking about something else. Now, stay on topic. And yet, for all this, her treacherous sister Judah have not turned unto me with her whole heart, but benignantly, saith the Lord. I don't know how to pronounce that. And the Lord said unto me, the backsliding Israel have justified herself more than treacherous Judah. Go and proclaim these words toward the north, and say, return, thou backsliding Israel, saith the Lord, and I will not cause mine anger to fall upon you, for I am merciful, saith the Lord. I will not keep anger forever. Only acknowledge thy iniquity, that thou hast transgressed against thy Lord thy God, and hast scattered thy ways to the strangers under every green tree, and ye have not obeyed my voice, saith the Lord. Then now in verse 4, okay, he says he gave the bill of divorce in verse 8, but now let's go down to verse 14. And it showed a couple other spots, and I didn't bring those up tonight, and I'm not gonna. But it says, turn, O backsliding Israel, saith the Lord, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. Okay, and like I said, I didn't bring up the other spots where he shows it. All right, but now, this kind of stems off of when we're told in the beginning of the Bible, when God says, God and those above us say, remember, they're talking in heaven. The heavenly conversations, okay, they're speaking up in heaven, and we're eavesdropping, so to speak. Okay, all right, but when he said, let us make man in our own image, okay, now think about this. All right, let's hypothetically say a man and woman are married. They've been married for 10 years. Let's just go 10 years. I'm not speaking of anybody in particular. All right, but they've been married for 10 years. They have big problems, whatnot. They decide they're going to get a divorce. They both go get their lawyers, and they get everything written up. Lawyers tell them it's going to take a few months to get this finalized. Let's just say 6 months. Well, come month 4, they start getting along again. Month 5, they decide, okay, man, I think we can make this work. Let's take some counseling. Let's do whatnot, whatever. However, we'll make this work. They tear up the divorce papers. The divorce isn't complete. It's not final. It was filed for. The divorce papers were there. They were thrust in the eyes of them, but it never became final. They decided to make it work. It's the same thing our Father does with us. But the reason I wanted to show all of that is because it says right here, what are you talking about in 12 and 13? In verse 12 and 13, go and proclaim these words toward the north and say, return thou backsliding Israel, saith the Lord, and I will not cause my anger to fall upon you. For I am merciful, saith the Lord, and I will not keep my anger forever. Only acknowledge thy iniquity. Excuse me, you can tell I'm getting a little tired. Thine iniquity, that thou hast transgressed against thy Lord thy God, and hast scattered thy ways to thy strangers under every green tree, and ye have not obeyed my voice, saith the Lord. How many people today don't even bother looking into the Old Testament and are trying to understand what our Father's doing? Oh man, he's perfect, he's righteous, and he's justified. And he's everything to me. I wouldn't trade my life with him for nothing. There's nothing. I don't care. You couldn't give me all the money, all the women in the world. There's nothing I would give up or I would take in exchange for my love, my life that I've got with our Father. Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, I have bad days. Okay. And I'm going to go on this little spiel that's not on topic tonight. Okay. But a lot of people think that Jesus was perfect. No, Jesus was made perfect. Okay? I'm not perfect yet. I'm being made perfect. Okay? I learn obedience through the things I suffer. Okay? If you want me to look those up, I can look them up real quick. Or you can look. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to. Okay. Hebrews chapter 5, verses 8 and 9. And I don't got it all highlighted, whatever. Though he were a son, he learned obedience by the things which he suffered. And being made perfect, he became the author of our eternal salvation unto them that obey him. All right. Now, verse 8. Though he were a son. Remember, they're talking up in heaven. Yet learned the obedient. Yet, oh my gosh. Yet learned he obedience by the things which he suffered. Now I want to touch on that a little bit. Okay, this isn't all fun and games. You know, I suffer. You know, I'll give you a little heads up. Before all this stuff started coming in with this virus and everything, okay, I was having a heck of a time. I thought I was screwing up, But the father brought it to my attention a couple weeks after it all happened, because I had if you want, there's no such thing as luck, but if man wants to look at it as bad luck, okay, what I wound up doing was I followed my GPS. It was a truck route, but it had me going through a business, and the business was closed. They had it gated up, and I tried backing up a street. It backed up about 3/4 of a mile down curvy road. Well, that's all the further I got. I wound up backing the trailer down into the ditch. Couldn't get it out. That cost me a couple grand to get it out. Shortly after that, what else was it? There was the one time I broke an airline, and I was trying to park the truck, and I broke an airline, and when I tried, I broke it. Instead of being right in the middle of the parking lot blocking everybody, I pulled the trailer, tore up a couple of my tires. That cost me a couple $1,000s. There was one other thing, I can't remember what it was. Anyway, and then what the father was showing, because I don't do nothing on my own, okay? He's with me all the time. There was no accident or anything like that, but it was just things that was costing me money, and it's like, I'm taking them, I'm not going to go into my arms. But he let me know what the world's getting ready to go through, and I suffer. I had to experience that loss, that financial loss, and the anguish to go with it, and feeling like an idiot because I did what I did. Literally, I've been driving a truck for 29 years, and for me to back up and just, I don't know why I didn't wait. There's a bunch of things I could have done, but I told the father, I'm sorry, I screwed up. Because it was my mistake. I had to pay for what I did. But anyway, I was going through some things, and what he was doing was trying to show me what was coming. And, what he's getting ready to do, and that's what we're getting ready to dive into. Okay? But, yes, I suffer. Okay? This isn't all fun and games. And this leads us to verse 9. And being made perfect, like I done said, I'm being made perfect. I'm not perfect yet. I won't be perfect until I'm dead. All right? I'm in this man's body. And as long as I'm in this man's body, I can't be perfect. Okay? He became the author of eternal salvation unto them that obey him. What do you think these books are about? They are to to try to get everybody to understand how loving, merciful, forgiving our Father since day one. Not some God that has changed our Father. Not some God that's changed him. Okay? I lead people back to our true, perfect, righteous, and justified Father and everything he's done, doing, and will do. That's how I become the author of our salvation. It's because I understand who he is. I understand what he's doing. I understand why he's doing. And here's the big one. I agree with what he's doing. Wow. It's just, I do. I understand what's going on. And to me, it all makes so much sense. And I know you all can't understand it the way I do. And I can't explain it to you the way as well as I understand it, because I'm not the teacher that he is. That's why I ask everybody in the books. I says, ask the Father to help you read it, because he's the ultimate teacher. He is the ultimate teacher. No one can teach like he can. He took this foolish old 9th grade educated man, and he's taught him the Bible in a manner that no other man on this planet understands it. That's how good of a teacher he is. All right, but anyway, get back to where we was. All right, God was married to us. God is married to us. All right, let's see. Let these things sit on that idle for a while. I know it was somewhere here for Isaiah. Oh, Isaiah 54, I think it was 6 through 9. No, wait a second. Oh, know what I was trying to show. Yeah, I don't want to show 9. 9 has to do with the flood that I seen. Okay. For the Lord have called thee as a woman forsaken and grieved in spirit, and a wife of youth, than thou was when thou was refused, saith thy God. For a small moment I have forsaken thee, but with great mercies will I gather thee. In a little wrath I have hid my face from thee for a moment, but with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, saith thy Lord, thy Redeemer. For this is the... Well, we'll just leave out verse 9. We'll just go through 6 through 8 there. Well, that is for the waters of Noah unto me, for I have sworn the waters of Noah should no more go over the earth. So have I sworn that I would not be wroth with thee, nor rebuke thee. Okay. Our Father's the Redeemer. Okay. It's not this fake Jesus that changed our perfect, righteous, and justified Father. That fake Jesus is not going to do you any good. I'll tell you that right now. Ain't going to do you any good. All right? You can't change perfection. You would take 1/1,000,000th of 1/1,000,000th of 1 millimeter out of perfection, and it's no longer perfect. Okay? It's no longer perfect. You can't change perfection. Excuse me. All right, but anyway, we, as a whole, and this is better explained in the Bible, okay, in the books that I wrote, the Father had me write. But we, as a whole, almost 8 billion people on this planet make up the one Son of God. Now, I know a lot of people were saying, how can you be Jesus and everybody be Jesus? Yes, because that's what I showed in the second book. Everybody has their own different laws, rules, judgments, testimonies, ordinances, and commandments. It's like there's 8 billion little Jesuses walking around here. You know, this is the cross made without hands that we are to look on. That's why we're told in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, I believe it is, when it talks about those that preach the cross. Because you think Jesus came here a couple thousand years ago and hung on a cross, and he died, and now you can change our Father. They said that's what it says in 1 Corinthians chapter 1. They perish foolishly. Why? Because you don't look at the cross in every person. That isn't made with hands. And you don't love your neighbor. You don't love them as you love thyself. You crucify them. You know, that's where it was talking about, there we're just looking at when God says, omit the iniquities, or however he said it, transgressions, or, you know, we can't just go around and say, oh, well, I sinned, but I don't recognize my sin. Yeah, you got to do a search within yourself and realize how you do unto others. Okay? I mean, that goes on to how you do to God, our Father, too. God, what are the 2 greatest commandments? Love God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, with all of your mind. The second, which is equal to the first, is to love thy neighbor as you love thyself. Notice, neither one of those is about loving yourself more than you love any others, okay? God didn't love himself more than he loved us. When he breathed life into us in the very beginning, and yes, I'm talking about the very first man on the earth, all right, when God breathed life, Jesus, his son, into man so that man became a living soul, God didn't say, I'm going to make it about me. He said, it's about you all, because I'm a loving, merciful, forgiving, graceful, loving God. I'm going to give you a chance to learn in the same way that I love. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. It's not about you. Don't make this about, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. But that's what our Father did. When he breathed life, he didn't say it's about me. Because if he did, none of us, and I mean none of us, would be here today. None of us would be. He made it about us. Now we're here. As Galatians 3 says, the law is our schoolmaster. We're here to learn how to love everyone else just the same way as our Father put us before he made it about him. We put others before we make it about us, including God. We put God first. If you don't go back to the Old Testament, try to understand what he's saying, what he's been saying, what the Old Testament's actually about, instead of looking at it as being a vengeful, cruel God, because he's not. He isn't in no way, shape, or form. Okay? People run off the imagination of their hearts. Get to know who he is. Oh, man. Wow. Anyway. Now, back to on topic. I'm sorry. I get carried away and I get on these rant and raves and whatever. All right. I know what this is. Now, this is where we're going to start learning where this is coming from. Now, this is something that Father had me put in the first book. Lo and behold, there's no way I knew that this is how he was going to do this. Okay? But he did. I didn't know how he was going to work all this. And then, and he doesn't let me know until, I think the furthest I've ever been, I'm showing all things to come. And I think my mom's death was 2 months, it was 2 or 3 months before she passed away that he told me that she was going to die. I knew approximately when she was going to die, though she could Google it all that day. But I couldn't say anything. I was with my mom the day I was told that she was going to die. I was with my sister too. But he told me that 2 or 3 months in advance. And I think that's about the longest he shows me anything in advance. Like this here, this financial difficulties and so forth. What he was doing was showing me what was coming. But he showed me that, I think it was probably about a month before he told, I'll just tell you, before he told me to stop listening to the Bible, because as I told you all in the books and noted on the other videos, I listen to the Bible all the time. Not so much anymore, because here's what the Father's had me do. He told me, to stop listening to the Bible and start listening to the news. And see, this is what he's taught me, because I know the entire Bible, 2,000 pages long, all right, is one long letter of instructions. And I've listened to the Bible from Genesis 1 through Revelation 22 over 20 times. I've read it twice, but I hear more when I listen to it, and I've listened to it over and over and over, and day in, day out, and it used to be that I'd get up and I'd start driving, and I'd turn on the Bible, I'd listen to the Bible, and until about a half hour before I'd stop driving, and I'd shut the Bible off, and I did this day in, day out, day in, day out, day in for 3 years. I just constantly listened to the Bible, and the Father was teaching me more and more and more. Well, here, just right about the same time this COVID-19 started happening, and they started talking about it in the news, and the first location out in the New York area, by the New York City, I can't remember the name of the town, but they first brought in the National Guard. They didn't lock everybody down, but they kind of did a containment zone there, and kind of watched everybody that went in and out and so forth, just trying to contain it. And it was the first outbreak in New York, which was shortly after the outbreaks in the nursing homes out in Washington. When all this started happening, it was right about that same time the Father told me to shut up the Bible, stop listening to the Bible, and start listening to the news. Now, I listen to the news all day long, and right now it's muted, I already listened to it, but it's CNN, because they had the medical thing, Fears and Facts or whatever, with Dr. Sanjay Gupta, and they have that on Thursday nights and so forth, but I listen to the news all the time. This is where I'm going to start getting Am I skipping? I gotta take a break. I gotta get some coffee. Okay, now to get back where it was, I started going into where this is coming from. Well, first we need to go into and talk about this, how this COVID-19 has taken over the country. Countries taken over the world. Okay? Now, I've looked this up a few times, and this one kind of throws me for a loop because there's only like 195 countries in the world, but it says 210 countries. And when I first seen 210 countries, and territories, around the world have reported now it's at 2,725,434 cases, confirmed cases of the coronavirus COVID-19 that originated in Wuhan. Okay. All right. Now, today, and I think it was yesterday, I think it was the first day, they started saying, okay, now they found out the first death in the United States was actually, they did a autopsy on someone died February 6th, and then there was another person that died February 17th, which means they was infected back in January. Okay, it's like this right here. They say it originated in Wuhan. How do you know? You don't know that. All right? You know, and I was sitting there thinking about this earlier, and I was talking to the father about it. All right? And it's going to take a few minutes to explain, okay? All right, but, all right, now let's just look at it this way. What if, now, they've got first reported cases of it in China, Wuhan, China, in November, around the middle of November. I remember reading something on that a while back. Okay? All right. Now, well, who's to say? Now, I'm going to throw you all for a loop here because, like I said, this is the way the Father's got me thinking. I think about everything spiritually. I don't think about it physically. Okay? All right. But, all right, let's just say, hypothetically, someone from here, the United States, had the virus, flew over to China. Now, this is going to freak y'all out, okay? But China, they eat different foods than we do. Now, this is what the Father has taught me, okay? The food that we eat is gasoline for our bodies, okay? The water, or if you want to look at it that way, the water's the gasoline and the food we eat is the oil. Either way you want to look at it. But we are like little engines. You know, we don't have any electric motor that we got to plug in somewhere to charge up. What charges us up is food, water, and sleep. Okay? I know a lot of people think, you know, and I'm getting off topic a little bit here, but a lot of people think that the fast is about starving yourself. And this is talked about in the third book. That has nothing. That is not a fast. You go to, and I'm not going to show it, but just go to the first 12 verses of Isaiah 58, and that'll tell you what a true fast is. A true fast is about helping others for no reward, no recognition. Just, that's what a true fast is. Yeah, okay, and that's how the Father sent me for a 40-day fast after he took me out and baptized me with the Holy Ghost after David died. I went on my 40-day fast. He sent me to my mom's for 3 weeks to get it through my head that I wasn't physically supposed to die, because I literally, truly, without a shadow of a doubt, thought I was supposed to die, and was convinced that I was going to one way or another end my life. Okay, and I know I'm going back on that topic right now, but that's why he said, the Father, after he baptized me with the Holy Ghost, he sent me to my mom's for 3 weeks, and that's where I had to actually. And yes, I listened to the Bible 2 or 3 times, I think twice while I was there. Those 3 weeks, I'd get up and I'd listen to it. But that's where he had to send me so that I could get it through my thick skull that I wasn't supposed to physically die. And it was just a couple of days before my mom kicked me out. And I know my mom didn't remember a week after she did it. She didn't remember kicking me out because God dwells in her. It was actually the Father kicking me out. The Father was sending me somewhere else so I could do all my 40-day fast. Now, before I went up to South Dakota, this is explained in the third book, before I went up to South Dakota, I told my brother, I said, you're not going to pay me. I'm coming up there. He needed help running his business. I was going up there to help him, and before I was still in Missouri, and I told him, I says, you're not going to pay me. He tried a couple times while I was up there, and I said, no, I don't want anything. All I wanted was cigarettes and food. I don't pay me nothing. That's what a true fast is, taking the burden off other people's shoulders for no reward, for nothing. That's what a true fast is. Okay, just read Isaiah 58, the first 12 verses. That'll explain it to you. And God actually says He don't want you doing the fast where you actually deprive yourself of food and stuff. Well, He doesn't put it in that word, but if you listen to what He's saying, He tells you that's not the kind of fast He wants. All right, but now the food that we eat is gasoline for our bodies. It keeps our bodies functioning. Okay, give an example. I don't know how many people out there are like me, but I'm sure there's other people out there like me. I've been like this all my life. If I don't eat, if I don't eat all day long, like if I hadn't eaten today, I'd be extremely tired. My muscles would all be sore and achy. Why? Because I'm not giving them their gasoline. Okay, this is the way our Father designed our bodies. We eat the gasoline in a spiritual manner. It's gasoline. That gasoline sends nutrients all over our bodies so that our bodies can function the way He designed them to function. When we don't eat, our immune systems and everything get weaker, we get sick, we get ill, whatnot. We cannot actually help others. Anyway, okay? But now, if someone got this disease over here in the United States, went over there, because they eat a different, or they use a different type of gasoline. I've been hearing about their wet meat markets or whatever. I don't know what it is that they eat. They kind of thought, well, first, this originated there. Obviously, they eat different food than we do over here, because I never heard of a wet meat market over here or something like that, whatever it is. You got your raw fish that people eat, but I guess they eat some really weird stuff over there. I don't know. Okay, but when they eat a little bit different. So if their immune systems are designed a little bit different, if someone from America went over there, and I'm not saying it has to be America, but it could have been. Here's what I'm saying. But if someone over here had it, and it went over there, and because their immune systems react differently to it, their scientists, not our scientists, actually are the first ones that found out what it was. Realized that it was a different virus that we have never managed before. Now, the reason I say that, okay, is because I know this virus was here a couple months before, because I just recently, a couple weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago, I had a delivery over in Ohio, and that's all I'm going to say about it. Because I'm going to tell you about the conversation the lady and I had. But she was working as a security guard to check my seal and everything on my trailer as I'm coming in. And, she had to check my temperature as I was coming in. And she was sitting there telling me that, and I'm not going to tell you where it was, but she was telling me she thought she had it last November. She had all the symptoms that they were talking about. And she said that she went to the hospital three times, and they always just told her to turn away, and they did the flu test on her and said it wasn't the flu. But she said, I think I've already had it. She explained this to me. And then she made she was joking her out, because she said tonight, that evening on her way to work, she had the heater blowing on her forehead. Because as they check the temperatures of all their employees when they come in, she had the vent from the heater on her car blowing on her head while she was going into work, because she wanted to show like she was having a fever, because she was upset because they wouldn't let her take her vacation, because they already had a shortage of people, so they wouldn't let her take her vacation. She wanted to take her vacation. But it was just kind of comical how she said, she had the heater blowing on her forehead. It didn't work. It didn't work. She was stuck at work, obviously. But anyway, she said that she thought that she had it back in November. So yeah, I'm convinced that the virus was back in November. So this is what I'm saying. Until they do a lot of investigative reporting, they're not really going to find out where this all come from. But anyway, sorry, something there caught my attention on the news. All right. But I've heard States now are trying to take up lawsuits against Missouri. Why? Or Missouri, they filed a lawsuit against China. I'm sorry. Because China didn't handle it. You know, and I explain this in the book. All right. You know, China is the first country to actually find out that it was a new virus that nobody detected. We had it here in the United States. Now they're finding bodies, people that had died early February instead of the end of February like they thought. So, and I'm sure if they do more autopsies and whatnot, they're going to find out that there's people that died back last October, November. But yet they're going to put the blame on China because China didn't do whatever. They're servants and or vessels of God, too. They bleed the same blood. They breathe the same air. They walk on the same dirt. They are servants of God. Okay? Jesus dwells in them just as well as he dwells in you and I. He dwells in everybody. Doesn't matter what race or what color, what nationalism, what size or shape. Okay? Don't put the blame on anyone else. All right? All you're doing is you're hurting God's children. We are all God's children. So anyway, okay, but now we see this. The reason I wanted to get on this, the 210 countries and territories. Now, I was reading something earlier. There's 195 countries. I don't know where that was. But anyway, and I know that number's up from what it was earlier. But anyway, it's in 195 countries, 210 countries and territories. This is the world. This is every color, every race, every nationalism, every size, every shape. This is affecting everybody. Everybody. Everybody on the planet, and this is explained well in the books, everybody on the planet is part of the one Son of God. Okay? Now, let's find my spot here. That's Colossians. Right? Yeah, that's Colossians. Now, here's what happened. Wait a second. Did I skip a couple? Let me see here. That's the accusers. Oh, yeah, I think I did skip. I did. Yeah, because I was just in. I'm sorry for the. Oh. Yeah, that's right. Okay, now I'm getting back on track. I got a little sidetracked. Sorry about this. Where God is married to us, right? Let's see here. Isaiah 53, 6. Yeah, God is married to us. We, as a whole, remember, God is working a works that no man will believe. Okay. Now, we as a whole, everybody on the planet make up the one Son of God. We all, as a whole, are in the womb of the Virgin Mary. We're not going to show that right now. That's in Revelation and so forth. The woman, the stars. Back when God said, let us make man, or when he said the stars, moon, and the sun, moon, and the stars. I'm getting tired. The sun, moon, and the stars were for signs and seasons. He's not talking to us. He was telling them above us. They're not for us. They're not for seasons and everything for us. We don't ever tell our seasons by the sun, moon, and the stars. He was telling that for them above us. And that's why you go back into the Old Testament, God doesn't say anything good about the astrologers and the magicians and stuff like that. Because y'all can't see what God is really saying. Because you look at other things instead of looking to him. You let your imagination run wild. All right, I'm getting off track. Anyway. We are married to God. We are the woman. Okay? What is happening right now is our Father is the husbandman. We are the woman. And we have just been put into labor. This is the beginning of sorrows. Now, we touched about that on the books before. But now, I know a lot of people are going to say, you're crazy, you don't know what you're talking about. I'll guarantee you right now, this is exactly what happened. Father's already confirmed this with me several times. We have just had our first contraction. This is our first contraction as the world. Now, look what our Father has done. This is coming from above. So I guess I'm skipping around a little bit. Okay, I forgot to mention that. This is coming from above. That's where it's coming from. It didn't originate in China, didn't originate in the United States, didn't originate in Italy, France, Rome, Russia, Australia. It originated up above us. If you want to blame it on anyone, blame it on our Father. But don't be mad about it, because he told you he would do this. This is what the scriptures explain to us. If we're truly listening to what is being said, he said the whole earth, everybody on the planet, is going to be giving birth to the Son of God. Everybody, we all have to go through this together. This is just the first contraction. This is what the books have been all leading up to. Now, the fourth one is coming out in a few months. I don't know if there's going to be another one done or not. I don't know. He's my boss, no one else, and it's up to him. I kind of think not, but boy, Lord knows I've been wrong before. I laugh about it because I have, you know. But anyway, Isaiah 58. You know, and remember, they are speaking in heaven. We're hearing what they're saying up there, okay? So now, listen to Isaiah 58. Whoops, mine the right one? Deuteronomy 28. I'm sorry, Deuteronomy 28, 58. If thou, now, like I said, he's told you this was going to happen. I'm getting ahead of myself again. That's what I'm doing. Excuse me. Okay. Deuteronomy 28. This is where I told you, God, our Father, and he had me mention this in the first book that he had me write. All right? He said he was going to do this. When I wrote the book, when he had me write the book, I had no idea how this was going to work out, because I'm not him. Okay, I'm not him. But I desire every step I take, I want it to be walking in the direction he wants me to be walking. Every breath I breathe, I want him to give me that breath. And every time I blink my eyes, I hope that my eyes are looking in the direction, in the way that he needs me to be looking. That's why I don't think of it robbery to think of myself as an equal to him. Not because I am him, not because I'm better or any of that, because I desire everything of him. There's not one thing I want to do without him. He's the reason I exist. He's the reason for everything. I don't want anything if I don't have him in my life. So no, I don't find it robbery. I don't think of it to be robbery to count myself as an equal. Because when I wake up in the morning, he's my first thought. He's my every thought I have throughout the day. And he's in my thoughts before I go to sleep. I converse with him every day, all day long. It's kind of fun. I'm by myself, but I'm not by myself. I mean, if people was to ride along with me, y'all think I was nuts, because I'm talking to him all the time. We converse all day long. I mean, him and I, it's like we're best buddies in my eyes. And I don't like to be around others because I'd rather be with him. You can look that up where in the scriptures where it says that. Yes, that's exactly what the scriptures say. I'm by myself, but I'm not by myself. Okay, now, back to when God said he was going to do this. Deuteronomy 28, verse 58. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, thy Lord thy God, then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance. Moreover, he will bring upon all of the diseases of Egypt which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. He told us this was coming. He told us he was going to do this. This isn't back when in the books of Moses when the plagues come on to that Egypt. Okay, we're all in Egypt now. This is explained in the third and the fourth book. Third book, I mentioned how we're in the Egypt covers the earth. Fourth book, I give a chapter of how I seen the flood with my own two eyes from 32,000 feet. I seen the cities above us. I seen the ships above us, and everything. I seen the flood. I seen a big old wave taking. Oh, the Father, he gave me a 3D movie out of my airplane window from 32,000 feet. I explained that in the book, and I'm not going to go into details on that. All right? But, now listen. To what the Father told us. He told us he'd bring these illnesses, these sicknesses. I'm beginning to wonder if they're even going to find a cure for this one. Because I'm not going to show that in here, but the medicines, there's no cure. If you want to look it up, just do a couple on Bible Gateway. Just do a keyword search word for in the Bible Gateway. Do a key search word for medicines. It's only in the Bible 2 times, and one of the times God says there is no cure with the medicines. The medicines don't cure. He's the only one that truly heals. All right, and then that goes into why I don't go to a doctor, and that's going to be on the next video. Okay, but I'm not taking a test for this COVID-19. I will respect other people. That way they don't get fearful that I might give it to them. I will wear a mask when mandated to or something of this sort, but I will not, under any circumstances, and I'll make it a public announcement right now, under any circumstances will anybody ever test me for the COVID-19. If I get it, I'll wander off to my part of the world so I can die. I'm not afraid to die. I've already gave up my life. David's already dead. Okay? And that wasn't the first time David laid down his life. All right? Okay? I will not take a test for the COVID-19. No ifs, ands, or buts. I will not get tested for this whatever they call it there, that see if you've got the immune to it now and you can donate blood. I will not donate no blood. That's going to be on the next video in the Mark of the Beast, because that's what the Father's been showing me over the last couple of days, the Mark of the Beast and what the Beast is. You know, I mean, yeah, I mentioned the Beast in the first book, but and when I wrote the first book, I didn't know what the Mark of the Beast was. In the last couple of days, he's been really pounding on me, saying, "Hey, guess what? There's the Mark of the Beast." So I will guarantee you, I'm not taking no test. I'm not donating no blood. Nobody gets any of my organs. Nothing. All right. And if I get this, I won't let the door hit me on the ass on the way out when I die. Goodbye, world. I'm not of this world. I hate this world. Matthew 10. You don't believe me we're supposed to hate your own life? Look it up. Loving your own life is, no. We're supposed to hate our own lives. Why? Because we're in hell, not with our Father. I'd much rather be with my Father. But He's got things He needs me to do. I'm not done fulfilling the role that I need to finish fulfilling. And I'm not going anywhere until I finish it. And I think I'm running a little bit behind. And I'm getting way off topic. Sorry. Now, this is what I wanted to bring up. Remember how I was telling you a little while ago, the wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, but the only sign they'll be given will be the sign of Jonas, for Jonas was in the belly of the whale for 3 days and 3 nights. So shall the Son of Man be in the belly of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights. I was in a car accident, as man calls it, March 28, 1986, Good Friday, in a coma for 3 days and 3 nights, next to being dead. I was in the belly of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights. Okay? Now, Luke 21, verse 26. This is going to bother a lot of people, but I got to do what the Father tells me to do. Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking for after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaky. Told you, this is coming from above. He's doing it. We have just been put into labor pains, including myself. I didn't understand what this really meant until a couple months ago. Okay? I always wondered, if I'm the only sign, are we going to see asteroids? No, we're not going to see asteroids. We're not going to see none of that, meteorites or any of that. I'm the only sign. And I know why I'm the only sign. I turn people back to our loving, great, merciful Father, and I tell people to stop worshiping this God that changed our perfect, righteous, and justified Father. Okay? But when people start realizing this, when they start realizing that this is not something that you can blame on China, you can blame on Korea, you can blame on Israel, or what are some of those other countries that we're fighting with, whatever. I'm brain farting right now. Coffee. But anyway, you can't blame it on anyone. If you want to blame this on anyone, blame it on our Father. If you don't understand why it's happening, now you need to get up and go look in a mirror, point to yourself and say it's your own fault. Because it is. You haven't been listening. The name of the first book, Father, forgive us, we haven't been listening. That's what this is all about. It's because we won't hearken. Man will not hearken to our Father. They won't listen to what he's been saying since day one. They run off the imagination of their hearts, and yes, that's covered in the books. Okay? But they listen to what their imagination tells them instead of just listening to what he's saying. Okay? He never commanded man to sacrifice animals, but you go ask any pastor, and he'll tell you that they used to sacrifice animals in the Old Testament. No, they didn't. They sacrificed us above. Well, we just read something about that earlier about, when it was talking about we being blemishes, spots they are. That's people. We're blemishes. We're spots. All these people that are going around here saying that others don't deserve God's love and all that, then we're spots and blemishes. We are the beast. That's explained in the books, that they're sacrificing. But them sacrifices are spiritual sacrifices. They're not physical sacrifices. They don't come down here and cut my throat. But, here, no, let's don't do that. Let's don't use that one. All right, I'm getting way off topic. All right. Anyway, like I said, this is coming from above. We have been put into labor, which means all things are just about, if not already, fulfilled. Because now the world is in labor. This is not something that they're going to fix here in a couple months. I'm going to tell you how this is going to work. I'm going to show you. I'm going to tell you just exactly how the Father told me. Because of when he said, let us make man in our own image. Now, I want you to think about a woman when she very first goes into labor and has her first contraction. Now, some women are in labor for, 36, 40 hours. I don't know. I don't know how long this labor is going to last. But now, check this out. The first contraction is always the easiest. Always the easiest. This is just the beginning of sorrows. It's going to get worse. These contractions for the whole world are going to get worse. They are going to get closer together. And it's going to get harder. A lot harder. Like no man's ever seen before. Okay? We are going into labor as one. But we all have to go through this together. Okay? The Son of God, that's the Spirit, the life that God breathed into man. So that man became a living soul back in Genesis. That's going back up to our Father. Okay? It's all coming from above. This is just the beginning. It's going to get worse. Now, we're going to go on to where our Father tells us this, what we're getting ready to go through, what we started going through. Okay? Jeremiah 30, verse 6. Ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Remember, see? He's talking up from heaven. Our conversations are in heaven. We got to stop thinking of the Bible as being right here. Listen to what they're saying above us. Our Father sees every guy, every man down here. We all know a man don't really give birth to children, but our Father's telling us right here. He sees every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail. Alas, for the great, verse 7, alas, for the great day of the Lord, for the day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Okay? Excuse me. Now, Isaiah 53. No, Isaiah 13, I'm sorry. I don't know why I've got Isaiah 58, 53, and all that on my mind tonight. Let's see here. This one's the 6 through 9. All right, verse 6. How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. Let me highlight that just in case. How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. And they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereout of it. The man giving birth. Okay? I know this video is going awful long. Well, we went over that one earlier. Now, okay, as I was telling you, these contractions. This is the first contraction. They're going to get stronger. And now, think about this when a woman goes into it. Okay, they're going to get stronger. They're going to hurt more. And right before everybody goes through this birthing process, okay, it's going to hurt extremely bad. Okay? Just like a woman is when she's giving birth. First contraction starts out, kind of easy, kind of mild. Then they start getting closer together. They start getting sharper or more painful, if you will. Okay, and look at it from a spiritual perspective. Lift yourself above the earth and look down on earth. See the one Son of God that covers the whole earth. Isaiah 8, first 8 chapters. Okay. Emmanuel, God with us, only spelled with an I, not an E. Okay. God, Emmanuel, is amongst the whole earth, because those other spirits that are throughout the whole earth. Just listen to the engrafted word that's spoken about in James 1. Hear the engrafted word in which my Savior soul might save. Okay? All right, now. But I'm getting off topic again. Here, verse 21. This is John 16, verse 21. We got to go through these pains together. A woman, when she's in travail, have sorrow, because her hour is. Now, remember how I said at the beginning of this video, the hour is now that the true worshipers of God must worship Him in truth and spirit. We've just been thrust into labor. We've just been put into labor. Now is the hour that the true worshipers of God must worship Him in spirit and truth. Okay? When she is in travail, will have sorrow, because her hour is come. We're all going to have sorrow here. We're all going to have sorrow. But listen, but as soon as she is delivered of the child, she remembereth no more the anguish for joy that a man is born into the world. Hear that? What woman has a man? What woman has a man as a baby? Okay? We're giving birth to the Son of God as one. All of us have got to go through this. All of us together. We've got to go through this. But here's the glorious moment. Because once we give birth, it's over. No more suffering, no more pain, no more sorrow. Rejoice. See? Oh, I'll go through it, because I know what comes at the end. Now, this is something I forgot to put on here, and I need to bring it in here. So I got to pause it for a minute. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to smoke a cigarette, get some coffee. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. All right. Now, we're in Matthew 24. And we are on Matthew 24, verse 13. Now, I just told you all that we just showed you all, however, that we are the woman. We've been put into labor. Excuse me. We've been put into labor. Okay, this was our first contraction. They're going to get stronger. They're going to get harder. They're going to hurt more. And they're going to get closer together. All right. That's going to happen. I do not know how many contractions we got to go through. I do not know what the contractions are going to consist of. But I do know that these contractions are going to be worldwide. Because everybody is the Son of God. Okay? Everybody makes up the Son of God. It's like I showed in the second book. Okay? It's like there's 8 billion Jesus has like 8 billion functioning body parts running around here on earth, okay, doing what He needs them to do. That has to touch with slavery. I've had a couple people will approach me about, whatnot. They think because black people were one-time slaves, they're the only ones that are chosen. And that's so ridiculous. They bleed the same blood we bleed. They breathe the same air we breathe, and they walk in the same dirt. We're no different. We are all stuck here in hell together, okay? But anyway, that's going to be another story, and I got to make that amendment after the publisher sends it back for the first round of editing. I got to put that in there. That's one of the things the Father brought to my attention, because that's something I forgot to put in Let Us Make Man in Our Own Image, because it has nothing to do with us looking like them. It's completely different, and it's quite a lengthy chapter also, by the way. But anyway, get back on topic, because this video is already long enough. But he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. Okay, now I know a lot of people think this means do whatever you got to do so that you can live. Okay, now I got to pause it real quick to show you that's wrong. Okay, just showed you about those that endure to the end will be saved. All right, we're going through these contractions. They're going to get stronger and all that. All right, now many think that's about them. Do whatever you can to live to make it to the end. All right, now our Father knows when each and every person is supposed to die. Okay? To the second. He already knows. He knew before the world began. All powerful Father knows it all. All right. I don't want to get on that. Anyway, this does not mean, this is why I was talking about, I won't take none of those immune shots, no blood transfusions or not, and I'm going to work on that in the next video or a video after that. I don't know. But, and I'm sorry this one's so long, but I knew it was going to be a long one. But anyway, but it's not about you, or it's not about me. It's about everyone around me. Okay? There'll be no blood transfusions. No one's getting my blood. All right. Here, I had to get my license renewed. I don't know. A few months ago. And when I did, I used to be an organ donator. But when the lady asked me about that, when she was doing it, and I said, no. Oh, that was the Father telling me, no, you're not going to be an organ donator. And I'll go into more detail on that on the next video, because that's going to be the mark of the beast, because that's what he's been pounding on me in the last 3 days. I know what the mark of the beast is, and it's nothing to do with the computer chip or anything like this. Kind of going to touch on it right here. Okay, greater love. This is what we're being told in John 15, verse 13. This is what Jesus is saying. Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Okay? This isn't about you living. All right? This is about you helping others live. Okay? And I asked about that. Why can't I give my blood to help others live? Because I will not partake in that. Like I said, I'll explain that in the next video. Because I was going to put them both in the same video, but I already knew this video was going to be too long. And that video, too, itself is probably at least an hour long itself. I will not give any videos that's going to be 10, 15 minutes long. Because I'm not going to just give you a little glimmer of what the Father's taught me. He's taught me to listen to the whole message, and that's the only way I know how to show it to you all, to try to understand it the way I do. I can't just say and show you 3 or 4 of these Bible verses that I've showed you tonight, and you'd be able to expect everything that you can understand through this video if you've made it to this end of the video, which, wow, that kind of fits in right now. You know, back in Matthew 24, kind of... But they each shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. If you've made it to the end of the video, then maybe you believe I am who I am. Okay? I know who I am. There's no believing who I am. I know for a fact. I know exactly who I am. There's no doubt in my mind. David Charles Jenkins II died March 8th, 2016. He's dead. He's no longer in this world. But his vessel has been filled with the invisible spirit of Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ, learning obedience through the things he suffers, being made perfect, has become the author of our salvation. Read the books. No man come to the Father except through me. That's through the books. I poured out my heart and soul to be able to write those books, to learn what the Father has been teaching me, so that you all could understand who he is. Because our Father will not have mercy on anyone with no understanding. And now that I just said that, I just got to look that up real quick. I'm going to do it on live. No understanding. Oh, let's see, which one was it that he had that in? Oh, oh, what did I do that for? I think it's in. There we go. Isaiah 27:11. When thou when thou boughs thereof are withered, they shall be broken off. The woman come and set them on fire. For it is a people of no understanding. Therefore, he that made them will not have mercy on them, and he that formed them will show them no favor. If you don't understand who our Father is, what he's doing, why he's doing what he's doing, he will not have any mercy on you. If you think he will, then you make him a liar. You want me to show you in the Bible where it shows that? I can. Okay? That's what these books do. They give everybody an understanding of our Father. Not a complete understanding as well as I understand it, but when you start to understand him, he'll grab a hold of you, take a hold of you, and he will start showing you, and you go, oh my gosh, your world will just, wow. I'm telling you, you're in for a ride. You'll love it. You'll love it. I mean, you'll hate it, but you'll love it. Because you'll hate it because he's going to flip your world upside down. But when he does, you're going to see things so much better and so much clearer. And you're going to feel that enormous amount of love and that forgiveness that he has. Because, oh my gosh, he's had every right to annihilate me. And I'll put it this way. If I'm still David and David was the father and David had to deal with me, I would have annihilated me a long time ago, if you can understand what I'm trying to say. If I was him, I would have gotten rid of me. I deserve it. I know that. I know that. But he continues to work with me. And he doesn't give up. But you got to want him in your life. You got to want him, not the God that changes him, not the God that says he's cruel, vindictive. You got to want this loving, caring, forgiving, merciful, understanding Father in your life. When you truly want him in your life, seek him with all of your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Oh, and he'll be there. And he will make your world. You will be, oh man. Anyway, I gotta quit this. This video is way too long. Anyway, all right. I hope this kind of helps y'all understand what we're getting ready to go through. This is just the beginning. This is the first contraction. They are going to get closer. They are going to be stronger. And the one right before the end, the one right before we give birth, is going to hurt the worst. But we got to go through this. Don't make it about you. Don't make it about you. I'll guarantee you, he's up there. You know, if he was a man, he's not a man. That's why he cannot lie. Okay, but if he was a man, he'd have a pen and he's marking everything down. You make it about you. You blame it on someone else. He's coming after you. Okay? No, I'm not going to get into that tonight. We'll work on that some other night. All right. I hope I've made this in a point that people can understand it. If you make it to the end of the video, I hope that means that you're starting to believe, you're starting to see, you're starting to understand that I come in my Father's name. I don't seek man's glory. The only one I aim to please is my Father. My Father is everything to me. Without him, I have no reason to exist. I do not want to exist. He's the reason for my existence. Catch you next time.